disgusted. I'm absolutely disgusted with the performance of the Indiana Fever. Stephanie White got purely out-coached from beginning to end. After the first 60 seconds, after the first minute of this game, it was a wrap. It was a wrap. Like, let's just keep it real. Stephanie White did not have this team ready to play. Aaliyah Boston got up 7 shots. She's standing at the top of the key, acting like the joke. I don't understand what's going on.
What do you even say after a night like that? The scoreboard breaks, the game crawls, the shots don't fall, and then your head coach walks to the mic and, again, takes zero responsibility. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark's status shifts every week like a moving target, and fans are left feeling misled. You want the truth from a fan? This isn't bad luck. This is leadership failure. And unless something changes fast, the clock that matters isn't the shot clock. It's the countdown on Stephanie White's tenure.
I don't know if it, affected the readiness, at all. But yeah, I mean, it's disruptive. It's not something that you expect to see. But we often talk about controlling the things that we can control, and when we couldn't control that. So staying warm, and staying engaged. And, I thought that, we did what we could to work through the issue. And, kudos to everybody that had a hand in at least working it out. But then, we came out and we weren't ready those first, 5-6 minutes of the quarter.
Let's start with the obvious circus. The opening minutes against Golden State turned into a tech rehearsal for a high school gym. Shot clocks go dark. Long delay. Energy dead. Rhythm wrecked. We sit there watching refs huddle while both teams cool off. By the time backup clocks show up on the baselines, the Valkyries are dropping threes like a shooting drill, 4 in a row out of the break, and the quarter ends with them setting a franchise record from deep. That's not a vibe. That's a swing.
Function. I'm going to be real, WNBA. That was nasty work. It was like an hour delay. This is nasty. Y'all got to get it together. Kathy Engelberg, the refs are trash. You can't even get shot clocks that work. What is going on? Y'all take so many unnecessary shots at the fans, and I've had enough of it. Y'all need to start looking in the mirror at what you guys control in this league. It's ridiculous. Isn't it your job? Now, players have to play, yes, but isn't it your job as a coach to be reiterating to the players, hey, let's go, guys. We need to come out with energy. I know there's been a delay. Let's be on our keys. We know the game plan. Let's come out with some energy. Let's hit them in the mouth first to come out.
And if it felt like deja vu pain, it was. Golden State didn't just beat Indiana. They finished a season sweep, 3-0. At Chase Center, they closed the broom closet and waved goodbye. That's a pride hit on national clips, a morale hit for the roster, and a playoff odds hit. Then the presser. You heard the same themes. We weren't ready. We tried to stay engaged. We controlled what we could control. Translation? The delay hurt us. The players didn't execute. Next question. No ownership of tempo control timeouts. No schematic pivot to stop the avalanche of open threes. No, that one's on me. Even the pull quote that made the rounds, "We weren't ready," lands like a shrug when your job is to make them ready. That's a coach quote that should follow with, "And that's on me," not, "And that's that."
A game like this will make you question everything about this Indiana Fever team. Hell, about the WNBA. I mean, boy, that was some professionalism at the beginning of this game with all these shot clock problems. I mean, what are we doing here? Elementary schools don't have this kind of problem. I mean, what are we? I swear, this was one of the hardest games I ever had to sit through, and that's considering the Golden State Valkyries, they're pretty entertaining.
Look, adversity happens. Great coaches absorb it and set tone. Slow the game, burn a timeout, change a coverage, stop the bleeding. Golden State's rhythm out of the delay wasn't magic. It was coaching and poise. Our side? Crossed arms and crossed fingers. This isn't about one post game. Fans keep seeing the same pattern. Praise flows when we win. Blame trickles down when we lose. If the roster shines, great system, great culture. If we stumble, suddenly it's players didn't execute. Weird whistle, weird delay. And fans notice. They've been clipping it, stitching it, reacting to it, and it's turning into a real revolt online.
What was that? Just everything about that. What was that? Like, it's been 3 hours since the game was supposed to start. The game was delayed basically an hour. What was that? Like, what was that? Like, the 63 points against the Valkyries team. And Leah Boston scored 4 points. She had 4 points. 4 points. Kelsey Mitchell, 4 of 14.
3 videos in particular capture the mood. One calls out White for throwing the team under the bus with, "We lose because of the players on the floor." Another breaks down why fans are furious with rotations and accountability. A third goes nuclear on the honesty gap and effort standards. Agree with the tone or not, those uploads didn't trend by accident. They trend because the base is fed up with a "not me" posture. Now, the part nobody wants to say out loud. The Caitlin Clark situation has been communicated horribly. Fans can accept injuries. What they can't accept is the constant fog.
Say out-coaches Stephanie White yet again as the Golden State Valkyries sweep the Indiana Fever this season. They beat us with Caitlin Clark. They beat us without Caitlin Clark. We have the superior talent. They have the inferior team. We have a coach that stands there with her arms crossed. They have a coach that gets in the thick of things and crazy coaches. When you have a more talented roster, yet you lose to a inferior team, that is coaching 101.
We've been told no timeline, further tests coming, hopefully clearer path soon, then another reset to no timeline. Most recently, still out. Same murk. When communication whiplash keeps happening, it stops sounding like caution and starts feeling like spin. White herself said more testing would define the path forward. Weeks later, there's still no firm path communicated, just shifting goalposts and game day scratches. Fans aren't dumb. They compare the words to the outcomes and call it what it feels like, not transparent. Some call it lying. At minimum, it's trust eroding.
Ever met somebody? Do you know anybody? Are you friends with somebody who just seems to always lie? Even when they have no need to lie, they just lie so often that they don't even know that they're lying anymore. Well, that seems to be the situation we have with one Stephanie White. She lied to get out of Connecticut, lied her way to Indiana, lied how she's going to utilize Caitlin Clark, lied about the vets that she's bringing in, lie after lie after lie after lie.
And here's the bigger point. Transparency matters for locker room buy-in too. When the Stars' status is foggy, rotations wobble, roles blur, and everyone plays tight. You've got veterans taking heat for shots they didn't expect to take, and young players pressing in minutes they didn't expect to carry. When communication is clear and honest, guys settle. When it's muddy, panic sets in. This is why We Weren't Ready, without "That's on me," drives fans crazy. Readiness is culture plus tactics. Both fall under the head coach.
And that coach, I'm going to tell you, of the coaches that got hired this offseason, she's the one that knows what the bleep she's doing. Seriously, she actually knows what the bleep she's doing.
Championship coaches eat blame in public and dish accountability in private. That's not softness, it's leadership. It protects the group and buys trust. In contrast, pointing to "players didn't execute" on repeat creates a quiet mutiny. She doesn't have our back. You don't lose a team with one comment, you lose them with a pattern. You could see the shoulders sag, the body language shift, the eyes glazing in those late-game huddles. That's not just scoreboard, that's belief. And the receipts exist beyond this one game. Go skim the pressers and the social chatter after Mercury, after earlier Valkyries matchups, after the Midsummer Slide. It's a lot of externalizing. Media asked about the shot clock fiasco. We got more about disruption than about in-game solutions. Even local recaps described how long the delay was and how quickly Golden State punished us afterward. None of that is a hang the refs moment. It's a how did we respond moment. We didn't.
One side, Natalie Nakase, who gets the most out of her players, who gets the best out of her players, who draws up plays to get players in a position to win, puts them in a position to succeed. And then we have Stephanie White, who stands on the sidelines with her arms crossed and her head in the clouds. The Indiana Fever got punked tonight. 75-63. This game was close for the first 65 seconds. 65 seconds, we had ourselves a ball.
Quick rewind. Stephanie White was hired back to lead the Fever into 2025. On paper, experience, previous Indy ties, credibility. In practice, a season defined by injuries, yes, but also by a stubborn refusal to own the nights when her game plan fails. The hire wasn't the problem. The in-season leadership has been. Add the expansion team Valkyries with a clear identity, a coach who presses advantage, and a home crowd that turns momentum into a wave. They started the year with joy and spacing. By August, they're a legit problem. Meanwhile, we're the ones searching for a 5-woman grouping that defends the arc and generates clean looks late. The sweep tells you who adapted and who didn't.
I'm so furious with this Indiana Fever performance, this bonehead Stephanie White. Man, this game was an atrocity, a flat out. And listen, the Indiana Fever got absolutely smacked by the Golden State Valkyries 75-63. They brought the brooms out on us. They swept up the floor with us. Wait, bro, you know how embarrassing it is to lose to one team every single time you play them in.
So here's the fans' case laid out. Accountability. When a coach publicly defaults to players didn't execute after every loss, she's outsourcing responsibility. That kills culture. Transparency. The way Clark's status has been communicated feels inconsistent. The stated plan, more tests, clearer path, repeatedly leads to no clear path. Fans feel strung along. Some call it dishonesty. Even national updates keep saying no timeline or still out, which makes the sunny hints look like PR fog. Adjustments. When the game goes off the rails, delay, momentum burst, whistle stretch, the coach has to steal a possession, steal a timeout, steal a look. We don't see enough of that. Pattern, not one-off. Golden State didn't beat Indiana once in weird circumstances. They swept the series. That's scheme and readiness, not just variance. Public pulse. The fan content ecosystem is on fire about this. Reaction channels, breakdowns, and shorts are pushing one theme. This coach blames down, not up. That's not a fringe take anymore. Every roster has a breaking point. Veterans who've been in wars will eat tough nights if the coach shields them. But if the coach airdrops blame into pressers, you get 1,000 tiny fractures. A glare in film, a clipped answer to media, a late rotation nobody covers for, a screen a teammate doesn't really set for you because he's tired of being the scapegoat. Culture is small choices. Public blame corrodes all of them. And when your superstar's return is a weekly riddle, the rest of the roster starts playing, what's my role tonight? Basketball. That's how you get over dribbles, hesitations, forced twos, not because they're selfish, but because they're unsure. Clarity fixes that. Honesty fixes that. We haven't had enough of either. Imagine the press conference that calms the storm. The delay rattled us. That's on me. I should have burned a timeout sooner and changed the coverage on their shooters. We'll practice that scenario tomorrow. On Caitlin, Here's the exact medical milestone we're waiting on. If she clears it, we'll update you with a firm range. Until then, that's on me too. If you feel left in the dark, that's a communication failure from the top. Say that once and the entire city exhales. Players hear it, fans hear it, media hears it. Trust upticks overnight. If you're in the building, you've got a decision tree. If you believe White can pivot, own it publicly, fix it privately, give her the runway, and demand the transparency memo on Clark now. If you believe the pattern is fixed, no ownership, no clarity, then you start your list. Interim from the bench who specializes in accountability, or an external name in the offseason with a track record of crisis time adjustments and straight-line communication. Either way, do not gaslight the fan base. They're right about the pattern. They're right about the messaging. They show up, they deserve straight talk.
This fan believes the roster is good enough to be dangerous when it's led with clarity and owned with humility. This fan believes Caitlin Clark changes spacing, morale, and late-game shot creation the second she's back. This fan also believes none of that matters if the tone at the top stays the same. Own the losses. Spell out the recovery path. Coach with urgency. If Stephanie White does those three things, fans will meet her halfway tomorrow. If she doesn't, the noise will get louder, the receipts will pile higher, and the only clock left will be the one counting down to a change. Because if accountability were banners, we'd be hanging them right now. Instead, we're hanging excuses, and fans are done with it.